So in Java programming, we are going to see a simple Java application creation. And before creating a simple Java application, how do we proceed with that? What are the things we need? What are the background information like compiler, so many things associated with creating a Java application and running it. So those things we shall see in today's class. These are the references. Regularly, I will be showing these, the course outcomes and course overview. And in the previous session, we have seen significance of Java and the evolution of Java and several features of Java like Java buzzwords and some introduction to object-oriented programming. In detail, we'll be seeing when we see the particular concept in Java. So abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, object, classes, all these are the main words to remember regarding object-oriented programming. So these things, what is what we have seen already, and in detail, which is exactly called as abstraction, which is exactly inheritance, how do we use it in Java? Those things we'll be seeing when the sessions progress. So generally, Java applications are fourfold. 4 type of applications we can create. Using any language, we'll be seeing like 4 category of applications. First category is standalone application. That application is to be installed in a separate machine, then only it will work in that machine. So we have to install that software in the machine. Those type of applications, we'll be calling it as standalone applications. Okay. And then or we'll be calling it as desktop application or window based application. That is to be separately installed in each and every machine. So some examples could be media player, antivirus software. These are all standalone applications. Next category would be web application. So these type of applications runs on the server side. Dynamically, it shows the output like IRCTC ticket booking or your Flipkart or Amazon. So these are all web applications. We are not installing Amazon here. Maybe the interfacing app you will be installing in your mobile and all. But when you use desktop, laptop and all, we are not installing anything. Simply through the browser, we are accessing those applications. So those are called as web applications. So they will be showing dynamic content. Like in IRCTC ticket booking website, today I am searching Erode to Chennai tickets availability. Today it will show some details. Tomorrow it will show different data. For the date 25th or 24th Sunday, I am checking means today if I see it will show availability, some quite a good amount will be available freely, seat availability. And when I check on Friday, more number of seats are occupied already, sold out. Only few seats will be available. Dynamically, it shows the result. So from where it is getting those content? It is getting those content from a database server. Okay. So it shows dynamic page. So we are calling it as web application. So similarly for Amazon also. For a product inquiry, today you are searching, it will show different content. Tomorrow you search maybe number of stock available for today. Maybe tomorrow it may be reduced to 2 or some more extra stocks available. So extra may be showing. Okay. So dynamically the content changes. And next category of application would be enterprise application. So these type of applications are distributed in nature. Like one part of the application will reside in my computer, another part will be stored in another computer. Likewise, together all these will work. Okay, like bank main branch will have one sort of software. Each branch will have its own software installed there, and together main branch will cumulate all the information, total bank balance, total some how many customers totally available in the bank. Likewise, so distributed application. Okay, so one good example is banking applications. And the fourth category of application would be mobile application. So these are especially created for mobile devices. So currently we have Android and Java ME edition that are used to create mobile application. Using Android, we need a Java environment. Okay. So next is how the Java language has been available. Like so, it has been developed by James Gosling. We have seen, and by Sun Microsystems. Now it is undertaken by Oracle Corporation. That also I have told you. So the initial version of Java compiler is JDK 1.0 that was released in January 23, 1996. Since then, so many versions, so many updates are taken place. So many versions have come. The Java standard edition is mainly for creating desktop applications. And if I have to create web application, I need to install Java Enterprise Edition. This package I have to install. So this is to create server-side application. And if I want to create mobile application, then I have to install Java Micro Edition. So you need these knowledge because you are going to be a Java programmer after completing this course. So which software is required to do what? So that knowledge is required for you. And the latest version of Java is Java Standard Edition 15. Maybe regularly it is keep on changing. So when we go with this Oracle Corporation's official website, the latest version might have been available. Okay. And the main keywords we must remember when we are using Java. Okay. So first keyword is JVM. The expansion for JVM is Java Virtual Machine. So by the name you could guess it is a virtual machine. Okay. So I am calling my laptop as a machine. Working machine means the laptop hardware components, all these are properly connected, and an operating system is installed like Windows, Linux. Something should be installed first. Then only I can call this machine as a working machine. If nothing, the operating system is not installed, it is simply a machine, useless machine. We cannot work on it. So what is the use of operating system? Operating system is a software that makes all the hardware parts works correctly. So it instructs the parts like keyboard. If A is pressed means what happened, what should happen. Escape key is pressed means what should happen. Enter key is pressed means what should happen. Power button pressed means what should happen. One more time power button pressed means what should happen. All these instructions are cumulatively arranged inside a software. That package we are calling it as OS. Okay, so it controls all the hardware parts, including battery. So if battery level is low, then it should display that red light. Okay, so it should display the battery, how much it is available, 20%, 40%. When it is going beyond less than 7%, it will show a pop-up notification, recharge or battery is very low. Likewise, some information it will display, isn't it? So all these are controlled by the operating system. So that is the first software we should install in any machine. Okay, machine. So here Java Virtual Machine is a virtual OS. Okay, so as we are telling that Java is platform independent. Platform here we mean OS. Okay, so platform we here mean the OS. So irrespective of the platform, in Windows OS also the same Java program run without any modification. In Linux OS also the same Java program works without any modification. No need to install a separate same JDK. You have to install for Linux as well as for Windows as well as for Mac OS. Okay, same software, same Java compiler we have to install. But for C and C++, for Windows version, separate compiler, C compiler. For Linux, separate C compiler, GCC, that compiler. So different compilers are available according to the OS. Okay. So Java don't require that. A same software, same compiler, we can install in any OS. So without any difficulty, we can run it. So that is the advantage, main advantage of Java, platform independence. Okay. So this Java virtual machine actually creates a virtual instance inside the OS. Okay. So that it is compatible for all the OS. Okay. So it provides a runtime environment in which Java bytecode can be executed. As I told, when we compile the C program, object code is created. So you have a class called sample s.c. So this is your C program and you are compiling it s.c. After compilation, you go and open the folder, you will be seeing s.obj is available. s.obj, that file will be available. And this is the intermediate code, machine understandable code, and this will be executed. And for Java, instead of object code, it creates bytecode. So this bytecode is actually creating a class file. So for example, if I am having s.java, if this is my file, .java is the extension for all Java files. Okay, .java. And when I am compiling this, it creates s.class. So this class file, it comprises bytecode. You could see this is bytecode, understandable by every machine. Mac OS machine, Windows OS machine, Linux OS machine. Because of this JVM. So when I install JDK in Windows based, my machine is Windows based machine. I am installing JDK means it creates JVM internally. Okay. And based on that, it supports the Windows environment. And your laptop is Linux based and you are installing the same JDK. And it creates a JVM accordingly to your machine's OS. Okay. Then it makes Java works in your machine without requiring you to choose a separate JDK for Linux, separate JDK for Windows. No, same JDK. Okay. Now, JVM, JRE and JDK, these are platform dependent because this JVM is required for Mac OS. Separate JVM is required for Mac OS. Separate JVM is required for Windows OS. Separate JVM is required for Linux. But the Java software automatically creates it internally, virtually. Okay, we don't bother about that. Okay, and so we are calling Java as platform independent. Okay. So the JVM performs loading of code, verifying the code for errors, and then executing the code and provides a complete runtime environment. Runtime environment means I am having 4 variables in my program, int a, b, c, d. And d equal to a plus b plus c. That is the result and that is to be printed. So I'll be giving value for A, value for B, value for C, and that is to be stored in D. So memory is required for that. To store the value of A, to store the value of B, to store the value of C, and to store the final result of D. Memory is required. So that memory where it is available in the runtime environment. Okay. So in our RAM, in our computer, we have RAM, random access memory. In that, a part is taken by this JVM to provide the runtime environment for Java programs. Okay. So in that memory, it creates a space. When I am running the program, value of A, B, C, all these spaces are allocated and it stores the value, calculates A plus B plus C, and that is stored in D, and it prints until I close the program. That memory is occupied. So when I close the program, that memory is released. That's all. Okay. So in our hard disk, the program is stored. And when I open and run the program, this JVM is activated and it takes one runtime environment to store these values, store it. When I close the complete program, then it erases this and release the memory. Okay. So this is how it happens. If you couldn't understand this, don't worry, just we shall proceed. And in the later stages, you can better understand this. Okay. Or if this stage itself you want to understand, then you can ask. Okay. Java virtual machine. OS is the original software to control all the hardware parts. And inside that, Java creates a virtual OS to make the Java program work. Okay. Now, runtime environment, as I told, this is to store all our program related variable storage, function storage, those things. Okay. So it is the implementation of JVM. So there is a physical space, memory is there. So this runtime environment physically exists, but JVM, virtual machine, is not physically existing. It is a virtual OS, OS within OS. So when you see here, the first circle, you could see here, in case of C++ application, this is the OS what we have installed. So inside that my C++ application is there. This C++ application uses the runtime environment of the common operating system. So C++ application, here my web application, Amazon, I am running through browser. Okay. All these are sharing the same runtime environment. But when it comes to Java, Java creates its own virtual space. So nobody else can touch, come and interfere here. Amazon I am running means that is outside of this Java. So Amazon uses the common OS's runtime environment, but Java creates its own space inside the OS, a virtual environment, like a partition, imaginary partition inside the OS. Okay, so inside that it is running. So this runtime environment has set of libraries. These libraries you can think of like how header files are available for C program. Already created header files. Okay. So likewise here we have set of libraries. We'll be calling it as packages. Okay. Packages are with extension .jar, jar files, like a compressed file. Okay. Zip files. So those are available and other files. All these are kept and those are controlled by this JVM. So this runtime environment include memory space for all these, which are all currently running inside the virtual machine. Okay. Now JDK. JDK is expanded as Java Development Kit. So this is the original software we should install. Okay, JDK kit. So if this software is installed in our machine, we can run the Java program. How you are installing Dev C++, Borland C++. Okay, if that software is installed, then you can run C programs using that compiler. Likewise, this is for Java. So this is also physically existing content, and this contains the JRE plus development tools. Okay, together all sort of development tools. So JDK comprises everything. So this JDK we have to install in our machine. So when I am installing in my Windows based machine, it creates its own JVM compatible to Windows OS. And when I am installing the same JDK in Linux based machine, it creates its own JVM compatible to Linux. Okay. So this JDK contains development tools like Java compiler, Java runtime execution tool, okay, many other tools, package creation tools, everything are coming under this as a package. Now, to create Java program, we have two options, okay, as a programmer. So normally we can create it using an editor, normal text editor like a notepad. Okay. So open a notepad, type the Java program. Normally when I save the content in a notepad, it will be saved as file name .txt. But here it is a Java program. We should save it as .java. So file name .java. So likewise we have to save it. Then we can compile this Java program and run it once the JDK is installed, and we can open the command prompt and run it. I'll show you how to do this. Okay, first we shall see the basic and I'll show you how to do this. Okay, parallelly I'll be showing. Okay. So method 1 we shall see how to create a Java program and how to run it. So still we have not yet seen how to create a simple Java program. I'm not explaining that. I'll be explaining that in the forthcoming slides. Okay. So first we shall see how to do it in command prompt. I have JDK installed in my machine. So I'm just showing that. So normally the software is installed in C drive, program files, and inside that Java and JDK 1.8. So I have installed that. You could see 2016 I have installed. Okay, so latest version may also be available. You can refer that. Okay, so JDK. So this is the package. Okay, it will be available as a zip file in the net. Oracle Corporation has everything downloadable, freely downloadable. You can download and install, and inside that all the necessary things are available. Okay, so bin folder has the execution environment. So inside that all the executable tools are available. So you could see javac.exe. This is the original compiler. Javac.exe is the Java compiler. Okay, so I have installed this. So I should note down the path under C:, program files, Java, JDK, bin. So this is the path where the Java compiler is available. Okay, so in the command prompt, I should, if my program is in D drive, my program is in E drive, and inside SKN folder, in which folder I'm having a program? Yes, directly in that. Okay, in E drive, directly Java program. So I'm having few Java programs already. One basic program we shall try. So I don't have very basic Java program. samples. Okay. So one I could create using Notepad. Notepad. So this is the normal text editor. Import java.io.star. I'll be explaining each of these lines. Class sample welcome. Okay, my program name is sample welcome, and inside that I am creating main. So creation of main requires these keywords. It is must. So I am increasing the font size so that it is clearly visible. Yes. Okay. So this is the display statement. How we give as a printf. Welcome to Java. So normally in any programming language, we learn first to have a welcome statement printed. Okay, so I am saving this as under this Java programs folder. I am saving this as sample. What is the class name I have given? Sample welcome. Sample welcome dot Java. I'll tell you the reason why same name I am giving here. Okay, sample welcome dot Java. If you are not giving dot Java here, it will be by default saved as dot txt. So this will not run. Okay, so it is must to give dot Java. Then I am saving it. Okay, so in an editor it has been typed and saved, and I am going to the command prompt in E drive. In this folder, I am having the program. So first I have to set path. Set path equal to where I have installed Java. So in C drive, in program files, under Java folder, under JDK 1.8, and under bin, the Java compiler is installed. So now I am setting path to this, and now we shall try compiling this program. Sample welcome. Okay. So my compiler is Java C sample welcome dot Java. So this is the statement. So I am pressing enter. Java C sample welcome dot Java. I press the enter. It is taking time to compile. Maybe I have opened so many files. You could see here. So many things are opened, and even in the browser, so many tabs are opened. So my RAM is occupied, so it is struggling to work fast. Because the RAM is controlled by OS. So many things. For each of those things, a runtime environment is created in the OS. Okay, so now it has come. Now the compiled program has been compiled. We could go and see inside Java programs. I am arranging this by date. Sample welcome. So this program we have created, you could see here. Now sample welcome dot class has been created. Okay, sample welcome dot class that has been automatically created. This contains the bytecode. So it is showing. I hope you could you can see this. Type is class file. When I mouse over on it, it is showing me class file 435 bytes. Okay, so compiled. Now I am running this program. Sample welcome. Okay, for running the program, no need to give .java, and I am pressing enter. So it is showing me the result. Welcome to Java. So this is method 1. Okay. So method 2 is to create, compile and run using an IDE. So what is an IDE? So you could see IDE means integrated development environment. Okay, integrated development environment. So a complete package that contains the Java software, the editor, running everything, okay, as a same package. So we can write the source code, we can compile it, we can debug it, we can build it, and we can run it. So the development is faster and easier. Popular Java-based IDEs are NetBeans, Eclipse, IntelliJ IDEA, all these are there, but commonly NetBeans and Eclipse are popularly used, open source only. Okay, so I'll show you how to use this Eclipse. So this is the Eclipse environment. Okay. So the environment will be like this. So here simply I have to create a new project, new Java project. So I am creating a Java project like basic Java. Okay, basic Java. So this I am creating, and it asks me to which execution environment should use. All these are basic things. We shall simply leave it. Okay, and here create separate folders for source files and class files. If this is there, yes, we can clearly segregate the source file and the compiled files, not class files. Then I am giving finish. So it is creating a new project. Under that, one runtime environment is automatically created, and a source folder, source file folder is created. And I have to click on this and right click, new class. So in Java, everything should come under a class. So one by one, I will reveal, okay, what is the purpose of each. So now I am giving a name for the class. So my class name is welcome. Welcome. Okay. And I need a main inside this. So I am clicking on public static void main and I am giving finish. I'll be explaining the remaining thing in the forthcoming session. So I am giving finish. So automatically it creates a skeleton program. You could see here public class welcome, public static void main, everything included. What code I should add here? So that part I have add here. I can add here. So this is command line. Okay, double slash. This is single line command. So now I am adding my printf statement. System dot out dot println. Okay, system dot out dot println. And now we shall print the same. Welcome to Java. Semicolon. Okay, so I have typed this and I am saving this. Now here I can run. So immediately the result is displayed here. You could see here. I hope you are seeing that. Okay, so this is how the IDE works. So now for the forthcoming sessions, I expect you, all of you, how many of you have a machine? I mean laptop? Or I could ask in this perspective, how many of you don't have laptop? Anybody is there who don't have laptop? Divakar, Gunasekar. So is it possible to have one during this semester? Because we have practical sessions also. Today we have 2 hours. So 1 hour is practical session. This time, okay, I'll be handling first this week and next week I'll be handling. And after that, we have list of exercises. We will be evaluating you. You have to run and show the output. So system is necessary at least during the lab session, this Thursday hour. So think of the possibilities, and you can intimate me if you have arranged for it. Okay. Tomorrow I'll ask one more time. Still, if you find it is not at all possible to arrange a laptop, tomorrow you can intimate me. Okay. At least for Thursday, you must have laptop to work on the program, because this is lab integrated course. Without without typing the program, typing and executing the program, you are learning this course means it is waste. Okay, so you have to practice what has been taught, whether it is working or not. So once you got the laptop, then you can, which one is easier, whether Visual Studio Code is also an IDE? Yes, Visual Studio is also an IDE, but not for Java. Maybe latest Visual Studio, that is only for window application creation, Visual Studio. Visual C++, Visual Basic, it is a licensed software. Visual Studio is a proprietary software owned by Microsoft. You have to purchase it, licensing and all you have to purchase. But this NetBeans or Eclipse IDE or open source. Simply you can download from. So you can go to Google, type Eclipse IDE for Java developers, and it will show you eclipse.org, that website. You can click on that, and here Eclipse IDE for Java developers. Okay. Enterprise edition not required now. That is for server side programming, web application. Now we are going to study only the basic Java. So for Java developers, Eclipse IDE for Java developers. This itself is okay. And you could see download links here. Windows 32-bit, 64-bit, or Linux 32-bit, 64-bit, Mac OS 32-bit. So normally you all will be having Windows. You have to check your system settings, whether it is a 32-bit system or 64-bit system. Your laptop or computer is the latest computer, surely it will be 64-bit. Older laptops and machines will have 32-bit. Okay. So the corresponding Eclipse IDE you should click and download. So already I have installed, so I am not clicking this. When you click on this, one zip file is downloaded that you have to extract and install. That's all. Eclipse IDE will be available. So it will create an icon like this. You could see. So Eclipse Java Oxygen. Likewise, one icon is created. When you double click on it, it will ask for creation of workspace, where to store all these programs. Choose a folder, and then this environment will be created. Okay. Or if you don't want to work on Eclipse, you can run your program like this. Type your program in Notepad, save it somewhere, then simply install JDK. JDK itself you can install. Like simply go to Google Java JDK. Java JDK 8 download. 12 has also come. 15 also has come. Okay, mine is Java 8 that I have installed in 2016. Okay, so you can go to Oracle website and you can download Java SE, JDK. Java. So you could see here JDK for Linux. All these are for Linux. For Windows, we can specifically mention for it for Linux here. So for Windows 64, JDK is available here. Okay, JDK 8. Even latest JDK JDK 12, JDK 15, that also you can install. Okay. So once you have installed, you can directly run in the command prompt. So you all can try this weekend. Okay. So by the next week, you all be ready with this execution environment. Meanwhile, if you need any help, you can ask me. Okay. So as for now, today we have seen what are all the types of Java applications and what are all the various terminologies related to running the Java program, JVM, JRE, JDK, and first way to run a Java program using the command prompt, second way to run a Java program using the IDE. Okay. So any other doubts you have, you can ask me. So if everything is okay, then we shall close the session.